I think I've got like a bear gene, Eddie. I've watched something on the TV where the bears gorge on salmon so they can hibernate over the winter.
Like squirrels and their
Yeah,
nuts.
so I have no off switch when it comes to food, and I think I've just got what the bears have got, basically.
Is it an actual proven gene?
Only I'm not hibernating. I just keep piling it on. I had a couple of beers on Thursday, and I've got a really sketchy relationship with food anyway at the best of times, but then 2 beers in, I think I had 2 teas. I had tea in the pub, then I had tea when I got home, then I think I had about 3 bowls of cereal as well. Oh, went to bed feeling really sad and dirty. I do always flirt with the idea, like, I'm just going to sack off beer. But then I think, well, I drink like, what, 2 pints a month?
Yeah, you're all right. You could have a bit of fun.
I got muddled up. It wasn't dark skies. Well, first of all, I said to Aaron, I've got dark skies on Saturday. I can't do cross country. Then he said cross country's next week. And I thought, oh, excellent. I can do both. Then I realised I can't do either because they're all
the same day.
God damn it. What a plonker.
Well, we've only done 10,000 steps this morning. What's your average step count?
10,500.
Oh, I haven't had my ring on. That's fine. I've been
What's
charging
my
it.
average? I haven't got a clue. I know what is down. My average screen time is down. Incredible. Saturday and Sunday were a bit sketchy though, because I felt like, well, it's the weekend and I'm just sitting.
Oh, you are just...
Little insight into Gary's life, sitting on the toilet, scrolling.
Oh my God, you need to have some books in there, some magazines. I have my recipe books in there.
Oh, that's a
about
good
the
idea.
meals.
But that you never cook. So, hello and welcome to the Tea and Trails podcast, and thanks for stopping by on this misty October morning.
And I couldn't find my reflective vest when I took the dogs out this morning.
Danger,
I
danger.
was like, danger, danger, high voltage. You know that scene in Robin Hood when Duncan says he's blind and he says, point me in the right direction, son."
Do you get that though? Have you got big long lashes that the moisture just gathers on your eyes?
And my arms, my hairy arms.
Kudos, high five, and big hugs to all our patrons and everybody who has joined Patreon over the past week. For the price of a cuppa, you help keep the lights hot. You don't. You keep the lights hot and the mics on.
To be fair, you totally do. Did we, when we first started Patreon, did we read names out?
We couldn't do that.
No, no, don't worry, Garrett. You should see the fear. Oh, I've got my mic. I've got my mic on. All this time I've been hassling you and even is it on?
It is now. It is the best way you can support the podcast. You can save big time on loads of trail running essentials too. I uploaded my Ultra Olympus 275 review yesterday.
Oh my God, hold me down. That is my day sorted.
For £3 a month, you could save 25 quid on a pair of those shoes. So yeah, I think that is what is known in the game as a no-brainer. And don't forget... Now, Brian, mate, don't forget, if you would like a snood or bobble hat, then you need to add your address to Patreon. No address, no goodies. Oh, my goodness me. I just thought, have I pressed record? Woo!
It's all good this morning, isn't it?
Oh, good. You've caught me on the hop.
I know. I love it. I get Gary all the fluster. It's brilliant. It's sort of a bit hot under the collar. Stress load.
Also, if you join Patreon for a year, you will save 10% on your membership. And if you join the Legend tier or above, we will send you a bobble hat too. And you can gift Patreon. So if you have a Tea and Trails fan in your life, then spread the love and treat them to the ultimate podcast gift.
Maybe something else as well as being a patron for a year. Like top that up with something like, do you know what I added on my birthday list, because we don't talk about Christmas? New roasting tin for chicken.
Fair play, Eddie. You are a vegetarian, but you embrace cooking meat for your clan.
I pull that meat off that chicken carcass like, Brinsley, you're such a carnivore. Well, I don't mind that. I was brought up a country girl. It doesn't bother me. I'm just not going to eat it. There's sometimes I do lick my fingers.
Shocking. Do you think if you buy sausages, you should always buy an extra one for your dog? Should that be a rule?
Well, we don't buy an extra one, but the dog just sits there. And sometimes if she doesn't get one, she gets louder and louder. She's like,
Yeah.
Waltz.
We only had 4 left on Sunday. George and I had some sausage sandwiches, so poor Rex just locked on. Didn't get one.
Not even a little nibble. Do you
Not
know what
even a
I
lick
do
of
with
a
mine? So
sausage.
if we have a roast on a Sunday, then the kids love it because they get leftovers when they come home from school on Monday. Sometimes we can stretch that to Tuesday. And if I'm not too busy, I might make like a risotto or something with the leftover bits. Then if it gets to Wednesday and there's still bits and it's all in the fridge and I'm like, no one's going to really want this now, I call the dogs outside and I'm just empty that Tupperware and I go,
Frenzy.
go for it. And they're like, whoever gets that old sausage first.
Rex he doesn't save anything. He eats like me, basically. It'll be smashed within about 30 seconds. Not even that. I've seen some dog bowls where they have like little prongs, so the dogs have to work to get their treat.
Mine are so funny. Lindy puts it in her mouth and then she brings it into the sitting room, drops it on the rug.
Drops it on the floor?
Yeah.
What
and
the
then
hell is
her
that
and then her and Tucky share it. Should we thank our sponsors before they redeem their gift vouchers? Thanks to X Miles for Sinful Hydration, Harrier Trail Running, Phoenix Light UK, and Protein Rebel. X Miles is a family-owned, independent endurance sports retailer providing nutritional goods, apparel, and accessories to help athletes and many, many gels for Eddie. X Miles offers a wide range of high-quality products from leading brands, and the team of nutrition experts, cyclists, runners, and outdoor enthusiasts can provide expert advice and guidance to help you reach your goals. Whether you're a seasoned athlete or just getting started, X Miles is the perfect place to find everything you need. Listeners can get 10% store credit at www.xmiles.co.uk or via the link in the show notes. Also, if you're looking for a cap, and everybody loves the Tea and Trails cap, pop over to You Go Projects patrons. You get 20% off. And if you're not a Patreon, you only get 10% off because we don't like you as much with the code T10. All the discount codes, head over to Patreon, teaandtrails.com, or check out the show notes. I had to get on Patreon to get my sports shoes discount. £80 I got off my order. I'm not going to tell you. Yeah, he's on mute, so he can't reply. Is this not a better podcast when it's just Eddie?
80 quid,
back in
Eddie.
again.
What have you been buying? Are we allowed to share? Been listening?
Yeah. No, never. I don't think he's listened to since 2015, wherever we'd started. I had a really lovely La Sportiva gilet that I ran in for about 10, 15 years. I loved it every single day in the winter. I love a gilet to run in. If you don't, this is like the arm warmers trend, bring it. I love a gilet, a t-shirt and gloves because even you can add the arm warmers in there, especially if you're going to do a little bit of a workout as well. Gilet just keeps nice. But you still got the pockets, so you can put your gloves, your gels in your pockets. My La Sportiva one, on and off, but hundreds and hundreds of runs. The sort of like down in it had gone. Then the zip had gone, so I couldn't actually do it all the way up, but I sort of could get it just above my nipples, and that was fine. And then what was the nail in the coffin, that's it, is that it ripped the other side of the hip. I think my breasts grew, Gary. And so eventually it was just...
Is that an iron supplement side effect?
It was imagine, Bryn would be like, it's double this. It was like a sort of just a wet cloth, really. There was no warmth properties in it. It's been replaced. And I found a Hoka one that was in the sale, but it's really nice. It's almost...
Cheated on La Sportiva.
They don't make the same one. If they made the same one, I'd replace it, but they've revamped it and I don't like the new one. It's almost too nice to wear running. You know, when you're like, this is going to start smelling and it's going to be fetid. But it's got one small pocket and then it's got one like really big one. So you could stuff loads of stuff in it. It like goes up and, oh my God. Anyway, that was one of my purchases. The other purchases, well, this pair of shoes that I love, they are definitely going to change them because they always do. So about every 3 months, I just buy a pair to put in the cupboard. I rotate 2 pairs because you should always rotate your trainers, especially if you ever run twice a day. If you find a pair of trainers that doesn't hurt your feet, doesn't give you blisters, doesn't make anything hurt, I can run on the road and on trails in them. Tick, tick, tick.
I wish I'd bought some of those. The New Balance, the 1080 version, 13s or 14s. I'm still running in those, and I've had the 14s, and I'm pretty sure the 15s are going to come out soon. I wish I'd bought about 3 pairs of those.
I know, this is the thing,
Incredible.
isn't it? And even the ones you love, and then they change them, and they're never the same. You hear the same story. So I've learnt, and that will keep me going for the next trip. So I'm just, what would you, investing? I'm like an investment banker, Gary.
I've got a few bits of kit that I bought as kits or were given as part of doing maybe a product review, and they've been so nice I've never actually ran in them after the review. One was an Innovate, like a, not an insulated jacket, but it's like
I see you wearing that
jacket.
Occasionally, and I always go, I like that jacket.
But now it's a bit bobbly. I might run in it now.
Oh, guys, are you still listening? Ding, ding, anyone there?
because we haven't got a script.
I've got a script. I'm ready. I'm waiting for you to say, Eddie, what you been doing? And I'll
Eddie.
say, oh, Gary, let me tell you what I've been doing.
Crammer of a week, managed 2 sessions. Eddie, what have you been?
I haven't got my blood results, everybody. I know that's why you'll have tuned into here. I haven't got the test results, but I went. So, you know, I spent ages trying to, no, I didn't spend ages. I had to ring up to get the blood test and they were like, oh, there's no appointments for like 3.5 weeks. So then I went to the doctor's surgery to get my blood. I was so worried I was going to forget it. So I even made Bryn set an alarm on his phone as well as me to go, I mustn't forget to go and get this blood test. Went to the doctor's surgery and they were like, oh, it's not here. It's at the hospital. I was like, oh my God, where's the hospital? Anyway, went to the hospital. I'd left myself loads of time and went to the hospital, sat in there. There's nobody there. Sat there for 25 minutes. Started to strum my fingers a bit because like I'm a busy person and I've left my kids at home and they are going to be setting stuff on fire now. Anyway, this nice nurse came to me and she said, are you waiting for a blood test? I said, yeah. She said, well, I could do that. And I'm like, well, is there not, what? Anyway, she took loads of my blood. She said, do you mind your blood being taken? And I was like, no. She said, oh, that's lucky because I don't have my easy recline chair or something. I was like, I really want the easy recline chair now, not this plastic one. She took loads of my blood. I was watching it going, I've spent so long, mate. Don't take those red blood cells away from me.
Why so much? Are they testing for like diabetes and other things?
So much. I was like, that's all my blood. I don't spent a whole month making all that blood. I did do my long run at last, but I did it right at the end of the week. And we always do that. Why do we put the long run on the Sunday when it tends to be, if you've done all your sessions and you've had a busy week, you're really tired? I know it's because when most people would have the time to do the Sunday long run. Sometimes like a Friday evening long run is even better. And then it's done.
There's no reason why it has to be a Sunday. Or apart from it does mimic when a lot of, like, say, a road marathon or half marathon would be on a Sunday. So there's a psychologically,
but we're trail
I
runners.
get it.
We can live outside the box. We wear long sleeves. We long socks, not long sleeves. We wear. I think that's just my posh girl coming out. My gilet. We wear our caps backwards. You know, we got it. Anyway, I did do a long one, but it was the last session of the week and in the rain, so it was fine. It was ticked off, Gary. I did have quite a big week when I think about it. So a long treadmill effort, and I gaslight myself into these long treadmill efforts. So I find something that's about 25 minutes to watch that I want to watch that will sort of take away the pain of the first long couple of intervals. And I tell myself I might just do 1 or 2, though really I already know what the session is going to be. So I did 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2 at 10%. The 12 was probably the slower one. And then but I told myself I didn't have to make it go faster. So I could just stay nice and steady, not too fast. So that was fine. I did shorter efforts to try and find a little bit. The aim of this, I did 6 by 3 minutes at 5%. I tried to do them at like 1% on the treadmill, Gary, but I could not get the belt to go as fast as I wanted to do without being scared that I was going to fall off the back of it. I was in my like road shoes. So then I changed into my trail shoes thinking maybe I'm just not used to running in road shoes. So I put on my like really super comfy trail shoes and see if that helps. It didn't really, I was like, no, I can't run fast on the treadmill. But it's not that I can't run that fast. It's more that I'm really scared to let go of the bar. And I have tried like doing it like progressively. I honestly wasted about 20 minutes faffing around trying to change. I was like, come on, Eddie. Anyway, so I decided just to do them at 5%, 6 by 3 minutes. The aim of this was to try and find a little bit of where my new faster pace is. And it seems so easy, 6 by 3 minutes on paper. It's like, that's not much running. That's not much fast running. By the time you've done a couple, you're almost halfway. The last couple. Woo!
What was your rest in between the 3 minutes?
About 90 seconds to 2 minutes. So I always do it on the treadmill. I do my heart rate back down to 135, which I know is like your workout heart rate. Now it's cold. I get quite cold because I sweat so much. Then when I am jogging, I just want to get going again because I start as I said, when we started, my hairy arms the sweat starts like gathering on them. So it was about 90 seconds to 2 minutes, depending on, and that was fine. That felt fine. I did 3 bike sessions, 3 times 1 hour bike sessions. 2 were really hard. 1 was not hard. 1 was so hard. So I did a meetup with Lucy Gossage on Zwift. early in the morning.
Ironman champion.
I'm at 14 times Ironman champion, and little old Eddie. We had a great time. I chose the session. It was basically just sprints, sprints. But you can do this thing in Swift where you can work at, and this would be so cool if you could do this running. So you're working together, so I can see her on the screen. She can't escape from me because you can't. It's like the program is set so that she can't ride away from me. So she can push much harder than me, and we're still riding together. So we did a good session. Then it had a 5-minute recovery. I think it was like 4 blocks of about 6 minutes worth of work. In the 5-minute recovery bit, we'd ring each other up on FaceTime and gasp down the phone. But I worked so much harder on that because I didn't want her to go back to all her triathlon friends and say, oh my God, it's embarrassing. And now I have to meet her every week. It was great. It was really super fun. And we're going to try and make that a weekly thing. And I definitely worked harder and my hamstrings definitely felt the pain. The other thing I talked about last week, which I kept to my word, Gary, was fueling everything, eating everything, eating all my gels, other little bits of fuel that I've chucked in. And I have fueled every single session, every single long run. I managed 80 to 90 grams of carb on my long run. That's definitely my limit. And actually, if Northern Traverse, stuff like that, I wouldn't probably take that much per hour. But felt good. And actually, I did feel a little bit hungry at the end. When you are starting, and I'm increasing my training load and my training intensity, you probably need to fuel more as well because you're fueling for previous sessions. The fire is being stoked every single day. So you're always on a little bit of catch up as well. So as I was coming back, I had half a mile to go and I had some of chews. Shall I take them? But I'm only like literally 4 minutes from home. I'm quite hungry. So I thought, well, might as well.
That's good though, because it's quite common. I do this quite often is on a long run, especially, I'm guilty. I'd missed the first gel and I'd missed the last gel as well.
Yeah, then that's like almost an hour. So I eat a gel as I'm going around filling up my bottles before I leave the house. So I just do half an hour. So I know some people, because I'm not in the super high fueling, 80 grams is fine for me. So I just take 2 things every hour. So every half hour. Also, because I've got a pea-sized brain, it's easy for me when I'm looking at my stopwatch because it just goes 30 minutes, 1 hour. What do you do with a gel packet when it's empty? How can someone invent something? Because when I'm going out and I haven't got any backpack with me, even when I've got my backpack, it's sticky. So if you put it down like your phone short pocket, gets on your phone. That happens almost every day with me. If I put it back in my backpack, it starts to get all sticky around the zip and in the pocket.
I'll roll it up. So I'll take the gel.
So mine's like a roll up by the end, but there's still stickiness all over it.
Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, I just shove it in with my gammy phone. Imagine the germs on a phone. Oh.
And then I wipe it with the old dirty kitchen cloth. Anyway, that started annoying me. I was like, I've got to take a little sandwich bag, a poo bag, I guess, and put the gel wrappers in there. Ticked off all my sessions, felt by my long run at the end of the week, as Bryn said, 1 in, 1 out. I maybe had let 4 in, 4 out, maybe only 2 in. And I felt just a little bit, that little bit of altitude, little bit of heavy breathing still there a bit. So I'm thinking, Gary, about my long run that perhaps I limit it to 2 hours, but I do 2 lots of 2 hours in the week. You can still cover, like, depending on the terrain, quite a few miles in 2 hours, but it's not going to be the same effect on my body as doing like 3 hours or 4 hours. Anyway, this is all an experiment, so I will try. I won't be able to try it next week anyway because the kids are on half term. We started watching a new program, going, you're always starting exciting things. So I thought, do you know what? I'm going to start something exciting, and I'm not watching any more of it, Gary. We started something called The Iris Affair. I think you'd really enjoy it. The story is really good. However, Gary, she lives in a hut in the woods, and this man comes and starts to try to attack her, and he gets his leg caught in this like bear trap. There's a lot of blood and guts, and I was like, oh, just stick with it. Come on, I've just got to watch 1 episode of this. I've got to man up and watch some more scary things. Then the next morning, as I was running through the woods, I thought, the bear trap, I'm going to be caught, and then I'm going to have my nose and my ears cut off. So I thought, I'm not watching anymore. But I think you'd enjoy it because you can separate real life and television, and I can't. Yeah, good week. A tick. Must have got some fitness gains in that week, Gary. A must of. And I'm happy that it was well fueled and that I was jogging around Scotland in my new gilet. I will be the talk of the local
Looking
chronicle.
incredible.
Looking incredible.
Who is that girl?
Has anyone? I'd love to know where she gets her puffer from. You've done nothing. If Gary feels a little flustered because I'm trying to get him to record this in between parenting and work, so he's a good sort and he's doing it, and because he's the best.
I like every word
Comma.
verbatim. Oh my goodness me. So I'm kind of...
Whereas Eddie just, as you may know, Eddie just chirrups.
Yeah, but I'm like
background.
Nemo. The problem is I'm like Nemo, so I really struggle to remember what I did on Monday, so I need to go back and do a bit of research and then...
You need to write it in your diary.
Oh, well, that's what Strava's for, isn't
Wow.
it? I did make a massive mistake though. Did I say this when we were recording, or was it just chat
no, I
that
wasn't
was just for us? Anyway, yeah, so I missed cross country and I missed Wooler Dark Skies half marathon because I got my weekends.
Oh, you actually missed them?
No, sorry, yeah.
Oh.
They're going to happen on the 25th.
We're also confused. So they're happening this weekend.
I
So
got my weekends completely
Are you going to do one?
muddled up. I could do them both. Jog round. Ooh, would you race the cross country or push yourself for the team and then just jog around the Dark Skies?
Just smash both out.
I don't think the team's going to struggle, so I don't need to turn up at Lambton for the cross country. There's much faster runners than me if everybody turns up. But what the problem with it was, apart from when I was just really annoyed with myself, I planned my week around there being a race. And I didn't realise until Thursday evening, and I knew I was going to do Thursday evening. It was Thursday. So really, I couldn't adjust that much. We're on Fridays. But what do? You just
I mean, I don't know what. You must have just gone into a downward spiral of, did you just go out running then all day?
Well, whatever I'm doing, my Garmin still thinks I'm being productive. Literally, in all of my life of owning these smart devices, which we question how accurate they are anyway.
We don't question. We know that they have zero accuracy.
I think they're zero accurate when it's the noise I don't want to hear. When it's got a nice little green. When it's green or purple for peaking, green for productive, it's 100%.
Purple for peaking. Ooh, who changed that colour?
Oh, in other news, me and the postie are best mates again. I have worked hard. I've worked hard.
Dip into his shorts.
I found out his daughter did parkrun down at Seaton Carew on Saturday. He's got a mate who did the Easington parkrun, and he's got a mate
He
who's doing...
definitely listens to the podcast now.
You know, if I deliberately want to upset somebody, that's fine. I'm quite happy if I've upset...
Do you do that regularly?
I suppose the theory is if I've unwittingly upset somebody, that would really upset me. If I've tried to upset somebody and I've been successful, then yeah, you know, and kind of tick that box.
This is another side of Gaza we don't know.
So I was worried that something I've done unwittingly has upset this guy, and I think I'll probably miss. Maybe he was just super busy for the next few times I saw him, and he didn't have time for chit chat. But yeah, we're besties. We're besties again. As far as running, I suppose I better talk a bit about running. The steady runs that I'm doing now, usually two a week.
I forgot. I did a steady run. My God, I overtrained last week, Gary.
One of them, yeah, because if you're going to do 2-hour runs and then steady runs and some workouts.
This morning I was like, I'm so tired.
I think the steady run, that is the thing one thing, my easy runs are just a little bit harder. I'm mindful to get my heart rate above 100 beats a minute when I'm out with Rex. And my steady runs are like 130 to 140 beats a minute. So zone 3, for argument's sake. I absolutely love the grind. Out of all the workouts I get during the week, when it's an hour 15 steady runs, I think they are going to be the secret sauce between mediocrity and greatness.
Get that on a mug. Do you think when I run down the road when I'm doing my steady run and cars pass me and I think in their heads, they're thinking, she's pretty fast. That must be a steady run. Look at her.
Yeah.
But you feel better when you move, when you're running, don't you? Like you feel like you're lifting your knees and your glutes are engaged.
If for some reason you ever, unlike say London Marathon and stuff like that these days, they actually have little video moments. They capture you as you're going past. So you could be clipping along thinking, I am absolutely incredible. Flying
Look at my
feet.
gilet. Look at my feet.
Absolutely no heel strike whatsoever. Then you watch 10 seconds of you running, maybe what is like, I think I did London, I was sub 3 London, so I thought I was moving really well, but you just look like a tortoise. So me doing a steady run, for me, it's like 7.5 minute miling. I think I'm moving well. I think the reality is I'm not.
If I was driving past and you were doing your steady run, I'd be like, he's doing a steady run. Look.
But you're up and about.
He's up and about. He's up and about.
He's moving with purpose. I think that's what people would say. He's
up and about.
Because you're not tired, so your form hasn't completely gone to pot. You're not heel striking. The duration of the run is long enough to appreciate the task ahead, but you're not absolutely kaput. Yeah, I think the steady run is such an uplifting run. I think one was just over an hour and one was an hour and 15 minutes.
Do you listen to music or podcasts? Because I can't listen to a podcast. Oh, on my steady run, I have to have music because it makes you run too fast.
Messes with my cadence. Yeah, I'm listening to the System of a Down because I want to know every lyric for all of their studio albums for when I go to see them next year. So I have introduced some music in my runs, but 99% of the time it is, podcasts. I'm fueling them. I'm definitely fueling them. I'm not missing any gels. I want every half an hour for that.
Sticky gels, sticky phone. Moving with purpose and a sticky phone. Also, you get loads of miles in.
Yeah, 10 miles on Wednesday or whenever it was. I want to be moving quite well. I don't want to be I don't want to be going out of that zone 3 on a long downhill. So I'm very mindful of the routes I'm taking. So I'm pushing all the way. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I do think that is going to serve me well. Maybe not so much Northern Traverse, but definitely when I go onto the road again, I can see big gains from that.
I can see big gains.
Thursday rolled round. I'm back in the club. It's been weeks and weeks and weeks since I did Thursday. Booze is definitely not my friend, apart from the fact that it just unleashes this animal of appetite.
Oh, hello. Oh.
When I lose my inhibitions and I just don't have that off switch.
Photocopier comes out.
Yep, straight on there with my bum cheeks. And also, as a more physical effect, HRV is tanked again. It's been bobbling around from the orange and green ever since Seven Valleys. And a couple of beers, it's put me right in the orange. I still think I'm unbalanced and we are like a few days out. So as much as I like the odd drink, I wrestle with it literally as soon as I have a drink, I wrestle with not drinking again. So it's not serving me well mentally.
No.
We'll see how it goes. Like, I haven't got a problem. Like, I don't drink a lot. It's not that. I just don't enjoy how I feel afterwards. I think that's probably where I'm coming from. So I'd reassess my week after finding out I wasn't going to be doing cross country or the Trail Outlaws Dark Sky Half Marathon. So Sunday became a cruisy long run with Ray. I did a few miles with Rex and then I joined Ray and we did about 15, 16 together. So I think I got 19 miles on Sunday and I slowed the pace down a little bit. I think I said last week that was still too much for my Northern Traverse pace. So I eased off the pace a bit. I increased the fuel a bit. You felt hungry towards the end of your run. That was my theory with these kind of cereal bars, to have something other than sports fuel. So I must have been on about 60 grams of carb, then sipping on
that's too low for you.
Well, I was sipping on the Precision Fuel and Hydration drink and electrolyte mix too. So probably maybe 70 grams of carb per hour. And I did feel much better, but then I did top up with a scone about 2 miles from home in the cafe in the Dean. Ray and I was sitting there for maybe 30 minutes. We're both V50s, so we're not like sprightly teenagers anymore. And for the life of me, I've never done this, and I've witnessed people come into these checkpoints ruined and leave not quite skipping, but it is racking my brain. I'm trying to visualize getting to Richmond. What, you're in about 100 miles, roughly 100 miles into the Northern Traverse. Probably going to try and sleep, have some food.
Have a big old sleep there, like 6 hours I'd go for. Yeah.
Well, I just got to check how far ahead I am before I decide.
Yeah.
Then to get up again and move. Oh my God.
Some low points there, Gary.
I don't know. I don't
you will
know
never
how
have wanted to do something less in your life when you go, oh no, and they go, right, so it's 40 miles until Lordstones, and you'll go, you do feel better as soon as you start moving. And you've been in Middleton as well. People will come in broken, but it's good. It's really good training. Something I did a lot, spine training, was stop in places, get all warm, get all cozy, eat loads of food, and then have to pack up your bag and get running again. And your tummy's going, oh, I don't want to. And your legs are saying no. And your eyes are going, just a wee nap. It's good training. Cafes are good training.
I'm trying to remember Dragon's Back race, that first 500 meters.
Just
thinking,
horrible. It's just
how the
horrible.
hell? And also, I've witnessed many
witnessed it.
miracles on the coast to coast and the Pennine Way, so I know it is possible. I don't know if there's any value in maybe going for a 20-mile run and just sitting in a cafe for an hour and then trying to go again.
I did a lot of that, and it's miserable, but it's good practice.
Excellent. You're selling it.
I'll sit in the cafes with you.
77 miles run for the week, 13 miles walked, 2 strength sessions, but I have neglected the steppers. I've done no cross training this week at all.
I would say that things like that, I think when you're training for big things, the cross training is such a great way to get that extra bit of strength, muscular endurance, whatever you want to call it. That's why, like, I'm definitely going to keep the bike in, especially this period between now and Christmas. You just don't want to be pushing the miles too much, but you still want to get that big aerobic volume in, and it might mean that your miles are slightly less, but it's good.
Well, I don't really want to go much above 70 odd, 80 miles running a week. That's probably as much as I ever want to do. So I'm a bit cross with myself. The problem is if I'm not really mindful and purposeful about doing the cross training, like this week, it just slips.
Feel free to join me and Lucy. We're going Tuesday morning.
Yeah,
another smash fest.
Take a rain check on that. But I won't be doing it this week either because I've got a busy week. I'm going to Scotland for a day and a bit, so I'm pretty sure cross training might not appear this week. But yeah, did the strength sessions. One, actually, I ventured into the gym and did strength sessions, so that was good. Lifted heavy.
Do you have to reactivate your membership?
Still dodging the deadlifts though. Single leg deadlifts. I did the single leg deadlifts.
They're so good. Oh, they're just as good.
TV wise, I'm sad to have finished the Detectorists. I'm so late to the party. People are going to think, oh my goodness, Gary, I watched this in 2018 whenever it came out the first time. Brilliant TV. 3 series, I think, and they're about 30 minutes long, so you're not committing your life to it. If you just were going to watch Yellowstone and then do all the prequels to Yellowstone.
No, don't have time.
We've
not even started Celebrity Traitors yet, Gary. We're just got to find them. I know.
We watched the first one. No, there's no spoilers.
I know who the traitors are. Yeah, that's right, isn't it? They're the traitors, the ones that get chosen. That's all I know. That's all I know.
We watched The Instigators last night with Matt Damon. That's over on Apple TV. I don't think you'd be disappointed. He doesn't do a dodgy movie. Oh, Eddie, he
can do any movie he wants.
Any movie once. I can't remember.
Like Tom Cruise.
Tom Hanks, there's a few sketchy ones in there.
Name a sketchy Tom Cruise film.
Probably anything he's done since The Da Vinci Code.
Tom Cruise?
Tom Hanks.
This is like a conversation with my mum and dad.
Tom Hanks is prone to a few sketchy ones.
Oh, yeah, no, it's all too serious. This is all too serious.
Yeah, so if you are looking for, I can't remember how long it lasted. I was entertained. I didn't want to reach for my phone.
How's the brick going? I've had a few messages from people saying...
Yeah, me too. What is this brick? Oh, thank you for introducing me to the brick. We should have a Patreon discount code.
Tag them in.
Monday to Friday.
Oh.
Incredible.
And then you just go off the...
Yeah, I went a bit loosey-goosey.
Remember the lunch break rule. But
it's so powerful. Just that extra... you can do the screen time thing, but just that extra layer of friction between you and it. It has stopped me a few times from hemorrhaging time. But yeah, the weekend's a bit more loosey-goosey. I'm not present when I'm taking Rex for a walk. I suppose that's the biggest...
Oh, Rexy.
Saturday, George and I, he was my cameraman when I was finishing off the B-roll for my Olympus 275 review. And I got stopped. It's so funny. Goodness me. We talk quite often. We should try and grow our Instagram. Then I will look at somebody who's crushing it on Instagram and I think, no way am I doing that. Literally. No, I'm not criticizing them. I think they're phenomenal.
How long do you think those ones when people are like, follow me for a day in my, they got to go and set that.
They make it look so easy. I think that's the skill, how much time it actually takes to do it. So yeah, I'm not firing shots. I think I salute you to have that energy and time to do it. But somebody stopped me because I was doing the run away from the camera shot. And he was like, oh yeah, me and my wife, we watch these mountain bikers and you can just see there the camera's focused on a flickering leaf And then they're just like cycling off into the sunset. So I was caught doing that on the trails. But yeah, I think George really likes it when he's there with the GoPro running around, helping me out create this
Do you slip him a few dollars from the YouTube?
Well, it's quite depressing how much you actually earn from YouTube. It's pennies. Well, somebody I imagine Mr. Beast and all these big time creators earn pretty serious income, but some months you don't even earn anything because you have to hit a threshold before YouTube does a payout.
I've never seen an invoice from a YouTube. I'm certainly not seeing any. You don't have no idea. You're not having any of that.
Yeah, if you think, I'm going to get 1,000 subscribers and I'm going to start crushing it and earn loads of deduction over on Instagram, I'm sure, YouTube.
I don't have time, Gary. I struggle to, get the butter out the fridge. I don't have time for.
So as much as I think I'd love to grow our Instagram and, I suppose.
I'm busy living, Gary. I'm busy living and I don't want it recorded. No. And also nobody wants to watch it. Get your shoes on. Get your shoes on. Where is your shoes? I told you to get your shoes. Do your swimming stuff. Where's your coat? That's not your coat. You've got the other one coat. Oh, my God. I could do that.
I do have a theory behind this. And I don't think when I used to do it a lot more, when I was filming a lot of my runs, I'm pretty sure my running suffered as a consequence of trying to film.
For sure. Every time you stop, like your heart rate goes down.
So while I'm still trying to squeeze some level of performance out, I'm not really interested.
I had a thought about squeezing that performance out as I hobbled down the stairs this morning. And I thought, when do we stop? When do we stop trying? Like, can I just stop now? Can I just
trying to squeeze something else out as I was hobbling?
I was going serious, trying to bring you back on track. When do we stop on the performance and start on the pleasure?
I'm just chasing age groups now. It's changed. I've got no aspirations for bother on the front of a race, but if you're a V50, you've got a target on your back big time.
Yeah, I think it's easier for middle-aged men than it is for women. There's more men, so there's more competition at that age group level. Also, we're going through probably the worst time of our lives between age 40 and 50. There's no joy. There's very little joy in running. But, you see people women coming out the other side. Anyway, let's not get into that now. It's all a bit depressing for a Monday morning. Let's go with our Brew with the Coaches and see what wise words they have to share with us. Thanks Precision Fuel and Hydration for supporting Brew with the Coaches. Their website and newsletters are great sources of knowledge, articles to read and YouTube content to binge on. Precision Fuel and Hydration helps athletes periodize their hydration and fueling strategies so they can perform at their best. They will help you know your numbers too. They have a handy free online sweat test and nutrition planner. You get a whopping, if you're a patron, 20% off over at www.precisionhydration.com. But if you'd like to try them first, and you can use the code TEATIME2025 for 15% off your first purchase. Do you know how many carbs the women's world champion, Ironman world champion, took on the bike?
Oh, I'm going to, on the bike, 110.
Per hour, 140.
110. Whoa! My God, that's a lot. That is incredible. You just constantly slurping.
She was drinking. Yeah, she drank it. Yeah, that's impressive, isn't it?
I was flexing over my 70 grams of carb.
You need to up that a little bit. I don't think that's probably enough for you, because you always want to go a little bit more, because you're probably not absorbing 70, remember, as well. You're probably absorbing 60, maybe even like 55. So you always want to add a little 10, 20, a little buffer. Always take your first and your last gel. Chewing as you go back in the house, slurping as you go back in the house. And then by the time you've had your shower and everything, you're ready for your protein.
In my defense, I had just scoffed a cheese cone, so I think I was probably fueled.
Yeah.
This week's question comes from listener Stuart Webster. I ran the Summer Spine Challenge in North this year and completed it in little over 75 hours. I ran with a couple of friends and we went from start to finish together. It was awesome. Dream team. 2026, I'm going back for another go. This time my target is 65 hours. Let's knock 10 hours off it. I love it. This time I'm running solo. My friends didn't want to go back for another go. My dwell time in 2025 was 14 hours and I've already identified around 4 hours of time saving here. What are your suggestions for achieving a more consistent, faster pace on the moving time? Both physical and mental training techniques would be great. This year, there was a bit of wandering towards the end as I got a bit tired. I love it when somebody can go back over a race results and pick the bones and try and identify areas that they can improve on. I find sometimes, I notice this at the weekend actually, sometimes when you run in a group, you can feed off both energies. It can kind of speed you up or it can slow you down too. Well, Stuart, you're in luck. We've got two people who have been on that start line for the big, super big spine. My goodness me. Yeah. Any tips, Jason, for Stuart?
Yeah, it's a good question, isn't it? It's nice and specific as well. You've obviously thought a lot about that. I'm curious to where the 65-hour numbers have come from.
Podium bothering. That's where that 65 hours has come from, Jason. Yeah.
What's that? It's 72 hours is 3 days, isn't it?
He's probably got a mate who did it in 66 hours. He just wants to beat him.
Yeah, it's hitting that sub 3 days, which is pretty awesome. 14 hours of dwell time. That's quite a lot over that period in some respects. So I'm glad you're looking at that already as far as taking 4 hours out of that. It's free time that you can get back. As far as moving pace, so yeah, 21:15 per mile is, that's a walking pace. There's obviously a disparity between maybe when you set off and then later on as well. If you're running at even 12-minute mile pace for half of that distance, that's a heck of a lot of time in hand. I would certainly look at what you feel you could do for a long period of time, but sustainably, and you can practice it in training. And it's almost like having a strategy as far as, I'm going to hike any climbs and just run the flats and downs. Try and do that in your training sessions and see what average pace you can sustain and it feel really comfortable. So if you can do that for 4-5 hours and at the end of it still feel like you could just keep going without any problems, you're getting a really good handle on a better strategy for your pacing rather than running for the first 6, 7, 8 hours and then getting so fatigued that you're then walking a lot more than you would normally like to do. I remember the spine, both years that I started it, people would be just going off at the start and it would be like running a trail marathon almost. And then after 6 hours, it's almost like everyone just starts coming backwards, slowing down or stopping or whatever. And then you've obviously got, a few people who can sustain that, but the majority of people who've gone off in that fast group, 20, 30 people, they start coming backwards. Having an actual pacing strategy practiced and in place and then sticking to that is a really good thing to do, and practicing it in your training then gives you the confidence. So when you do hit the start and everyone's flying off and running up all the climbs, you feel confident enough to go, actually, I've got my plan and my strategy and I'm going to stick to that.
It's a phenomenon, isn't it, with ultras, especially these long runs where unless you're purposeful in your training runs will always be faster than your actual race pace, like this 15-minute mile in there. Everybody feels fresh for, say, 20 miles on pretty much any race. I saw it at the weekend, people go off and then slowly the tide comes back in and you see some of them again. So, yeah, it's a real phenomenon, which I think takes experience, with the ultras, that it's just impossible. Your training runs, even my dog jog with Rex is faster than the pace I dreamed for on the Lakeland 100. It's wild.
I think it's nice to practice it. I did spend a lot of time on the Lakeland course and the Pennine Way course just practicing what I knew the race pace would be and getting used to how that would feel and being comfortable with going that little bit slower. If your long run pace, for example, it might be, ease of numbers, might be 10-minute mile pace when you're doing your training runs, but then your actual race pace is 20-minute miles, then actually maybe go and try and do some long runs at 15-minute mile pace and get a feel for how that is, even to the point where you can pretty much almost just go on miles per hour. So 15-minute mile pace is 4 miles per hour. And then just set yourself little goals like, how far do I think I've gone in this hour without looking at your watch? And then you might bleep after the hour and you've guessed correctly at 4 miles an hour kind of thing. Practice and play about with it from a more macro level than actual minute mile pace within each separate mile as such.
I think he'll learn a lot as well. He's done, when you do one of these massive things, the learning of it, like just your kit management, your general management of yourself on that terrain as well. He'll have learned his sleep deprivation. I think that counts for quite a lot of time as well, without actually having to make any mega changes as well. But listen to Jason, he's the wisest words on the Pennine Way. He should have these little things inscribed in stone along Hadrian's Wall. If you're going faster than a 15-minute mile, you are going faster than Jasmine Paris. You need to slow down.
Well, that's it, isn't it? The Pennine, to give it some context, the FKT, it's not faster than 4 miles an hour.
No.
I don't think. So that's 15-minute mile pace, and that's roughly.
And
not being,
I think not being scared to go set off at that pace and let the race come back to you. One of the best bits of advice Jason gave me at the Spine was like, the first 100 miles, Eddie, the first 24 hours, you just got to stay at the back of the game and just let it pass, let it go. Then you start the race, because nobody is going to, all the people that set off super fast, they're going to struggle to get past 24 hours. You've got to get yourself to that first 100 miles, first 24 hours in the best shape that you can. There's no other secret formula. It's super simple, is to not go too fast. And by not going too fast, you'll fuel yourself. So those two magic components sound so simple when you're in it. It's terrifying.
It takes maturity.
But it just, if Stuart or anyone else is going to do these mega races, if they just can listen to that and just remember that, and it might just slow them down just a little bit, or have confidence in their own pacing, stay in the game in your gaming chair for the first 24 hours, you're in it then. And once you're in it, we see the dropout rate is huge in these races in the first 24 hours. And then after that, people only really drop out because of like a serious injury, it's not nearly, or it's not, it was too tough, I couldn't face it. Mentally, normally people are like, they're right in there, and it's nearly always then the body that doesn't, not the mind. So I think setting yourself up in the first 24 hours is so important for these sort of races as well. Stuart, let us know how it goes. Yes, this is a good one to see. We'll be looking at that dot. What's his emoji going to be doing?
Thanks, Harrier Trail Running, for sponsoring our Strava Club and Tales from the Trail section. Harrier is the UK's fastest growing brand for trail runners, providing specialist kit designed for superior fit, comfort and function with the best customer support. Check them out for race vests, waterproofs, poles and other trail essentials at www.harrierrunfree.co.uk, where you can also download your free copy of How to Run an Ultra Guide. Use the code T10 for 10% off site-wide, or check out their brilliant trail bundles for a special 20% off. 2 new jackets, along with loads of other bits and bobs, available for pre-order at www.harrierrunfree.co.uk. First up is the Exmo 2.5 layer waterproof jacket. It is a trail running jacket built for runners who keep moving whatever the weather. Weighing from just 236 grams, this lightweight waterproof jacket for running delivers serious protection without slowing you down. Perfect mountain trails or ultra distance races. Also, you've got, which Eddie and I have been putting through its paces, the Exmoor Pro jacket. From just 190 grams, it is Harrier's lightest and most technical jacket yet, featuring a 20,000 hydrostatic head protection, 50,000 MVP breathability, and details designed for real runners, like a roll-away hood, wrap, snap, waist, stow, ventilation poppers, thumb loops, and fully taped seams. What are your early thoughts?
I can't get over how light it is. Like, you pick something up and you're like, oh, wow, super light. I wore it for my long run in the rain yesterday.
Interesting. I've not experienced rain in it yet.
What, your waterproof jacket?
I just took it for a spin.
Did you? You must have sweated your tits off.
Well, it's got that 50,000 MVP breathability.
I had it zipped up the whole way. It had the whole neck zipped up. I liked that waist stow so it didn't move, because I think sometimes when you've got your jacket and then your pack on, it can cause a bit of friction and it can ride up your back. But because I had the waist popper done up, it didn't ride up my back. It sat quite snug. The hood was really nice. I didn't actually wear the hood up. Probably the best way I can describe it. It was like running without a jacket on. I didn't feel hot. I didn't feel cold. cold. It was just a great sort of barrier between me and the Scottish nizzle.
I've had some waterproof jackets in the past where it's been a bit of a faff to kind of zip things up, especially if your hands get cold with gloves and stuff like that. I found all the bits that I needed to worry about quite easy to use. I liked also, I think it's the left-hand side, there's like a pocket within a pocket. So I pushed my phone in there, which was a bit of a squeeze, and your keys, but it did stop them bouncing around more than what they would do if they were just left to float around in your big pockets. Yeah, so far, only a couple of runs, so I did a steady run. I thought I was going to really overheat in it during that run, but it was zipped up fully. No dramas whatsoever on that run as far as heating's concerned, but on the long run, when I had my hydration vest on too, yeah, I did find I was kind of warming up a bit then, but it wasn't raining. I just had this jacket on just to see what it was like to run around it. But exactly like you say, yeah, no dramas whatsoever. And I'm curious, these numbers, 50,000 on the MVP and the 20,000 hydrostatic head, I'm curious what that means, because we know that you should only wear your waterproof jacket when it's raining and your wind stopper when it's windy. With that kind of breathability, would that make this jacket possible to use in multiple situations? I don't know, but for the steady run, it was fine.
It's so light, I definitely could wear it. You could definitely wear it like you have, like with just sort of like that sort of windy, that's almost a bit moist, the weather as well. You're not going to overheat in it. And the other thing that I like that I do is I do it with my windproof, is I often start in my windproof and then I unzip it like down to my belly button, take the arms off, and then I keep it zipped up to the waist, but then I tie the arms around me.
Oh, wow, I've never done that. No, I've never done that.
Oh my God, there's a game changer. That is a total game changer. If you haven't got a pack with you and you don't want to bother faffing around, I mean, you could still do it with a pack on as well. And because it's got that, the poppers on the waist, you could easily do that and it would sit on your waist. So if you're having a jacket on, jacket off kind of day, you don't have to keep storing it away. But yeah, good job, Kate. Love it. Thank you for that.
It is available for pre-order now, just in time as we head into winter over at www.harrierunfree.co.uk. And don't forget to use the T10 discount code for 10% off your order. First up on the Strava Club is Jed Hallam, 61.7 miles for the week with the longest run of 17 miles and 8,120
solid
feet.
Week, Jed.
Oh, but yeah, solid, but Jed's a request to follow, so don't know.
Damn him keeping his data private.
Next up is Matthew Locke, 58.1 miles for the week with the longest run of 26.3 miles.
Marathon Matt.
1,137 feet. So I've just copied Matthew's description here. Abington Marathon, British Masters champ. If you'd have told me 8 weeks ago that I would run that time, I would have bitten your arm off. Took a bit of a risk going with third and fourth at sub 2:30 pace. Then the intestinal demons hit. Didn't realise there was such a huge gap behind me, but enjoyed spending the rest of the race picking off as many as I could. Heavy flex emoji. Was there an opportunity to chase the eventual front two? Maybe, but hamstrings was saying no, way too early again. Definitely needs to be worked on for that next target. Mara, also a massive blister on the right foot as well, but can't complain with being the county champion. Oh my goodness me. And Matthew's time was 2:31 and change. Absolutely incredible. The British Masters champ.
Do you know what the pace is for a minute mile for that marathon, Gary? Go for your stride phase.
yeah, literally. If I see a 5, that's my stride pace. Or
5:45.
Whoa.
Minute mile, or 3:34 seconds per kilometre.
Heavy flex, Matt. Heavy flex. Last up is Dimmy Booth at Feel Good Yoga. 84.5 miles for the week with the longest run of 36.2 miles and 11,319 feet of vert. Lots of dog miles for Dimmy. Yoga 2 and then 2 big days. I do not know what KOD is. Do you know what trail that is?
Oh, King Office Dyke, something like that. Where was
that could be it. So went from Chepstow to Pandy on day 1, then Pandy to Kingston on day 2. That's 68 miles over 2 days. Incredible
That's
running.
my dream. That is my dream.
We got a few results. Smoking fast Autumn 100 for the Centurion team. A close battle for the top 3 positions in the ladies' race. Sophie Seward topped the podium in 18:25:32. Bonnie Ray claimed second place in 19:32:21, just ahead of Hayley Langley in 19:44:23. A fantastic duel, an incredible, exciting fight for the podium. And a thrilling men's race this year with Hugh Tibbs absolutely smashing the course record. Behind him and some brilliant battles. So David Green takes second in 14:15:49, and Martin Reed claimed third in 15:27:39. Also, I mentioned my mate Phil. He was running that race too. He came in 8th, second V50. Incredible running, Phil. Well done.
Kieran, first V50. I'll give a shout out to my mate right back at you. My mate won. I think my mate might have passed Phil at some point. I hope he slapped him on the butt cheeks. I think Hughes, I know Hughes, 100-mile time is fastest time ever on British soil on trail. Talking about average pace, we discussed Matt's average pace. Hughes' average pace, 100 miles, 7 minutes 50, if not faster, because of course he's going to have stopped at checkpoints as well. So you'll steady run. For 100 miles.
I just can't get my head around that.
Does that make you sad, or does I quite like knowing that sort of stats, because it gives me a bit of kick up the ass when I'm like, oh, I can't do it, and I'm like, come on. I'm
inspired by it and impressed by it, but we're not competing at all.
Yeah, but can you bring the work harder? That's what I get. They're like, come on, mate.
No.
Work harder. No? Oh, I do.
Next up is Punk Panthers Dale's Dazzlers. Busy event. There was a 50 miler, 34 miler, 20 miler, and a half marathon. We're going to give the 50 milers a shout out. The first place was Sarah Rowe, 12 hours, 16 minutes, 20 seconds. Second place, Odessa Mayalorca, 12:48:35. And third, Hannah McPeak, 12:48:36. Hannah and Odessa must have been running buddies, or they raced to the death. I'm not too sure which one it was. Male winners for that race: James Butler, 8 hours 40 minutes and 1 second. Second, Scott Gurnett, 8:53:42. And third, Thomas Beaumont, 9:06:35. Not even half an hour split that podium. Again, I saw a post on the Hard Moves Facebook group saying this year's Hard Wolves 80 will be the last, so if you fancy a challenge before the end of the year, then check it out. You might never get a chance to run it again. Pop over to hardmowers.co.uk.
A birthday belated shout out to our very own Brew with the Coaches, Trish Patterson. I think she was 21 last week. I had a little voice note from her. I think she celebrated with a weighted something on the treadmill, lunch with friends, and then a running club in the evening. What a dream.
Perfect day.
What a dream. What a perfect. The only thing missing was a Guy Threatt's voice note.
We've got a heavy flex and a tail from a trail all rolled into one. Dear Eddie and Gary.
Oh, he's going for it. Here we go.
I'm writing this having just returned home to the southeast after the 13 Valleys weekend in Keswick. Priorities for the weekend were, firstly, to be there to support my good friend and running buddy Chris, who was running the 13 Valleys. Secondly, volunteer. Frustratingly, this year I've had an annoying back injury and had to pull out of the Centurion 100 Hills, the London Marathon and Lakeland 50 because of this. I really miss running and wanted to do something that made me feel involved. And finally, possibly take part in the 2 Valleys. Although running has been off the table for a year, I figured out I could probably hike around the course if my back injury allowed. On Friday, I arrived in Keswick, popped my stuff at the B&B and went straight to the theatre by the lake for my volunteering shift. As soon as I walked through the door, I saw Gary sitting there doing kit check. A bit starstruck, I went over to say hello, and I was really pleased to meet Gary. After a brief chat, I moved on, fearing that if I distracted him further, there would be a flurry of untaped scenes making their way out onto the course. Next stop was to be assigned my duties. I would be spending the 6-hour shift with a nice chap called Ricky taking photos of participants for their trackers. That's quite a responsible role.
I would love to do that.
It was great to have some running chat and banter with the rest of the team, as well as some final words with participants. All smiling and in some cases terrified faces really made it worthwhile. I would absolutely recommend volunteering. At 6 p.m, we saw off the 13 Valleys Fork. My friend Chris looked strong and confident as he set off into the evening. Wow, I wonder what was going through Chris's mind.
I don't want to.
After my shift was over, I went back to the B&B to mull over whether I would take part in the 2 Valleys the next day. The decision had really already been made, having absorbed the wave of positivity from the evening I just had. And funnily enough, my back had also been feeling a little bit better during the week after a year's physio and injections, but little to no progress. Saturday morning rolled around and I found myself on the start line. I positioned myself right at the back so as not to get caught up with the runners. I set off hiking thinking I could bail a Threlkeld if needed. However, after some initial twinges, everything felt good. So much so, I threw caution to the wind a little and decided to incorporate some light jogging in the second half. I even managed to run the last mile to the finish. Damn me for deciding to wear walking boots. I was so pleased to finish, feeling okay to have now added the 2 Valleys medal to the 5 Valleys from last year. On Saturday evening, I was in Keswick and saw Gary running into the town on his 7 Valleys. He was looking strong and composed enough to say hello. On Sunday morning, I went out to support Chris after having done no training for the 2 Valleys. I felt like I was in worse condition than he was. When I saw him, I decided it was probably best to keep that to myself. I saw him near High Rig on the approach to Threlkeld, and at that point, he was well within the cut-offs, and there was no doubt in my mind that he would finish. I told him the only thing that could stop him at this stage would be a lightning strike, but as it was the most sunny, perfect morning in the lakes, we agreed the chances were very slim. Chris went on to complete the race. Unfortunately, I couldn't be at the finish to see him in, but his family were there to greet him as he crossed the line. Heavy flex to Chris for this. I'm really happy for him as he trained really hard and managed to get through without any GI issues, which had complicated some previous races. Oh my goodness, that's amazing, Chris. It's such a relief because that would have been on his mind for pretty much to the end of that race. I'm so pleased to hear that, Chris. I'm really grateful for the weekend I've just had, and I'm really pleased for Chris. I'm very happy to have volunteered. I met some really nice people and felt really inspired for the future. In the future, I'd like nothing more to add the 7 Valleys medal to the 2 and 5, but I'm just going to have to see where things go with my back for now. I'm hopeful that the improvement I've had in the last week or so isn't temporary and that things are finally moving in the right direction. I'm a bit worried about what the physio is going to say tomorrow when I tell her I did a 22k trail race at the weekend. Yeah, I wonder what she did say, Mark. Well done. Thanks for that, Mark. If you've got a mate who's flexed or orbited the sun one more time, then email hello@tntrails.com. You need to pop heavy flex or birthday shout out as the subject. Tales from the trails.
Hello, Eddie and Gary. In 2024, I ran the Montaigne Lakeland 50. I'd like to just give it the full name. I'd done the lap the year before and performed quite well for me and figured that it wouldn't be too different. Oh, how wrong I was. I really struggled all day and my head went to a really negative place. By the time I got to Ambleside, I was way behind schedule and the sky was pitch black. At that point, I was on my own for the first time and had a total wobble about navigation and decided I was definitely going to get lost. I had the route on my watch. I definitely wasn't going to get lost. At that point, I tagged along with a group who were walking and walked for hours to get back to Coniston to make sure I got back safely. My goal of qualifying for the 100 was not achieved. The whole time I'd been hearing murmurings of this podcast. Oh, people were making little inside jokes about Puke and Rally and talking about how this guy, Gary, was getting on in the 100. Oh, I had no idea what they're talking about until someone asked if I listened to the Tea and Trails podcast. After the race, I was feeling very sorry for myself and stating loudly I was not a runner and never wanted to go back to the Lake District. I'd seen it all now anyway. I go to the lakes all the time. After a few days, I started to come round and decided to give the podcast a listen and heard Gary's Lakeland 100 episode. I then proceeded to listen to all of the others. Before that, I'd been listening to American Ultra podcasts and their nauseating positivity had been making me feel out of my depth. Oh, you don't have any of that here. Welcome to the club. Tea and Trails with Gary and Eddie's British realism and relatable struggles was just what I needed to feel part of something and a little belonged. Along with all their tips and tricks, I signed up for Lakeland 50 again and my first 100 miler, which I completed in April. Fast forward. I love a fast forward. Fast forward, we're back on site to this year's Lakeland 50 and I trained like I never had before and was making a play for that 100 qualifying time. I was having a really great day and didn't even complain going up Fusedale. Oh no, but at mile 15, disaster almost struck when my knee completely went. I couldn't go downhill. Time to problem solve. Here we go. Covering it in our old friend Voltarol and fashioning a knee support out of a buff. Yes, I'm a spiral genius. That's a really good idea. And went on my way thinking I'd fixed it. Nothing was stopping me. The climb up Gatesgarth Pass broke me like it always does and brought on some nausea. I was praying for the top so I could throw myself down the other side and feel better. But when it came, the knee pain came too. Feeling sick and struggling to move, I decided I had to pull out of the race at Kempmere. When I got there, I told the first marshal I saw that I was ending my race and he said, "No, you're not. No one's coming for you here." So I got bandaged up by a medic, ate some pasta and got some words of encouragement from my fellow runners and set off up the hill. By the time I got to Ambleside, I was flying, having a second wing to cope Jamie's whole "it never always gets worse." I had a brew and a loose up, screaming the place down as I did, chaffing problems all day. Moving better, but still feeling sick, I received a very lovely pep talk and a hug from a volunteer at Chapel Style. During the next section, every time I went uphill, I felt terrible, slowed to a crawl and hung over my poles trying to puke and rally, but it never came. By this time, I'd been yo-yoing the same people for hours and the crack was good as we repeatedly passed each other. I told another runner as we approached Tipplethwaite that I was scared of Jacob's Ladder and didn't think I'd make it up there. She very sternly told me to get a grip and that I had no choice but to get it done now. You only have 3.5 miles to go. I've run that section in training a lot and hated every time, but despite my struggles, I got over the pesky new style, jumped on a train of people and had a great time plodding and chatting to everyone. The descent down to Coniston is my favourite and I flew down to the finish, forgetting all knee pain and sickness, and got my qualifying time. Thank you, Eddie and Gary, for sharing all the wisdom and helping me along my ultra running journey. This one is for you. Lots of love, Roxanne. Oh, Roxanne, you're a legend. You never give up. You are a survival
What a
genius.
journey. I love it.
What a journey. And I can't wait. Please keep in touch. Let us know how that Lakeland 100, that's going to be another story of epicness. But it sounds like you're well on board the ultra train as well now. We love your tales from the trails. Please keep them coming in. Hello at tandtrails.com, and make sure you pop Tales from the Trails in the subject. Thank you, Protein Rebel. Are you ready, Gary? Are you ready to bring us home? Are you ready?
I'm always ready. Born.
You
ready.
You're not born ready. You spent 90 minutes reading the script before we could press record. You are not my friend who I'd call born ready. I'd call you steady.
I reckon if it all kicked off tomorrow, I'd surprise you how ready I was.
Ready for what?
Apocalypse.
What's kicking off? I'm not going anywhere near you in apocalypse. You would be the biggest panicker.
When this, I don't know if it's good or bad. We were some stupid chat when I was like in my 20s in the workshop when I used to be a model maker. Which characters in Lord of the Rings everyone would be?
You'd be the little
I was the hero. I was the hero. Bilbo Baggins saved the day. Just putting it out there, Eddie. Wasn't me. Well, not my words.
Not my
words of my
but
peers.
You see yourself in the hero role. I like it. And I'm the sort of girl that just keeps going to you, what should we do? What should we do? I don't know what to do. I saw Reese Witherspoon talking about that as if that she's like in every action movie used to. I think they sort of don't do this so much now. The women are a bit more the women used to turn to the men and go, so what should we do? Anytime in real life we turn to our partners or whatever and go, so what should we do? There's always a list. Here's the list. This is what you need to do. Right, we're going home. We're going home with our hero, Gary. Thank you, Protein Rebel, for bringing us home and being our hero, gentle on your stomach, driving your performance, whether you're trying to get a PB, training for your first marathon, breaking world records, dressed as a rhino, or completing your 10th ultra. Protein Rebel products are easy to digest with no artificial additives, providing both performance and overall health benefits. Use code T15 for 15% off for your first order at proteinrebel.com. Patrons can also receive 15% off every order. Pop over to Patreon to find your discount code.
You're going to tell us all this detail about what you got coming up, and then you're going to say it all again next week when you've done it.
You're criticising my podcasting.
You give me the side eye.
I give you the look of children that say, so it'll be all right, Mum, if you pick us up at 10 p.m. 10 p.m. That's like 2 a.m.
Deep sleep, 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
That's when my best work's done. When I look at the Garmin, that's when I get on my purple sleep.
Yeah, that is good. And I go so deep straight away. And if someone then wakes me up, teenager comes in who's then needs something.
2 things I've discovered sleeping over the past fortnight. One, when you have a wee in your sleep, you don't wee the bed, which I thought was actually legit. If you went to the toilet in your sleep, that means you're actually urinating in the bed. And I died in my sleep, and I didn't die in real life. I thought both of those things were legit.
Traumatic night sleeps you've had, Gary.
I can't remember what the situation was when I died. I don't remember that, but yeah.
I had a dream that I came round to your house and there were just bobble hats everywhere with like big posting bags, but the bobble hats were like all over the place. And I was like,
that is the reality.
Harry, you've not posted any of these. And you were like, oh, Eddie, I'm going to get round to it. I'm like, but they're everywhere. They were like all over your house.
That's what it's like. When these snoods turn up and I've got to catch up with all the patrons.
Oh, what a hero you are. You're our everyday hero in our really terrible Netflix film. Well, I'm not going to tell you all about my week this week and the next week. All I'm going to say is it's half term. And so I'm going to do some whining, which everybody enjoys, about how I'm going to juggle everything, use my treadmill and I haven't got a plan. I'm just going to maybe back off a little bit. I got excited last week, didn't I? Back off a little bit and just do some easy miles. I always think when you add a load of something else. So let's say the kids are at home for the holidays and I've got to juggle work and everything else, then don't add more stress. Let the running be a little bit of a release.
Yes.
Let it be easy miles, don't get stressed. And I don't really have a plan. I'm just going to try and fit in when I can, play loosey goosey. But as we know, that sometimes backfires on Eddie, because then she's like, I've sort of lost track of what I'm doing. A little bit of a loose plan, but I'm just going to try and balance kids, working. I've got it down pat now, Gary, I think. I've decided I've given myself a bit of a pat on the back now, that after having children in my life for 15 years, I get the balance about right. But there's one key thing. If you're a busy person, I do think, though it's rubbish, that the only way to get your session done or your running is to go early. Otherwise, it just doesn't happen. If you've got a busy day, I can't imagine. I used to do a lot of my workouts after work, and I would do my best work at like 6-7 o'clock at night.
If I was going to Sedgefield on Thursday, I can hang on late morning, early afternoon. That's my peak performance.
I would like that time too, to be able to have breakfast and then go out at like 10. That is dreamy. It's light. You can see. You're not going to be chased in the woods.
Yeah.
Your body's like all warmed up. I don't have that luxury very often. So I do think the key, absolutely, and if you struggle to fit yourself in, is to get out before anybody wants you, or to have your kit ready, even if kids are awake, and just get up, get out and be like, oh, back in 40 minutes. Look after the kids.
That is one of the perks of this loosey-goosey work life that I've got, that I can just go for a run. I also sometimes just need a break from being welded to the computer, so it fits well.
Yeah.
Just need to get a bit of balance back. Of fresh air.
I remember when my kids were younger, people would be like, you wait till they're teenagers and they never get up, and I'd want to slap them across the face. So I'm going to do the same to everybody else as well that's got young kids. You wait till they're teenagers. They don't get up now. So I'm just going to holidays, and I think this is good for everybody, family, work, whatever, dogs, cats, busy lives. If you've got a stressful week, stress is stress, Gary. Just fit in what you can, enjoy it. And I don't ever want to take away from the fun times of holidays by me being stressed about, because as we touched on earlier, it's not about performance anymore, Gary. I'm going downhill rapidly. It's just about fresh air, crunching through those leaves, tripping over stones. So yeah, I will do a couple of workouts, but I actually don't even really know in my head what they're going to be yet. I'm going to play this week by ear. How exciting. What a time to be alive, Gary.
Good advice.
You're going to do the same races again.
Hopefully I've not got a double muddled up weekend. Yeah, one race. I'm not going to do two.
Go on.
There's no gains. There's
loads of gains when you're tired and emotional. And
I'm torn though, because there's the team and then there's my own endeavours, but I've paid actual hard cash to go into this Trail Outlaws half marathon, so I will be going to do that. But the highlight of my week is I'm off to see Esme in Bonnie, Scotland.
Oh, what are you going to say, Eddie?
Rough out. Do I take my trainers?
Yeah, we always take trainers. Always take trainers. Aren't you wearing them? I'd just be wearing mine with jeans to the gig.
Got some DMs, them my out shoes.
You always say that and you never wear them.
Well, because I don't want people standing on them in a busy room and then I've scuffed them up. So I'll never wear them because they're too precious.
Teenage boy.
So yeah, a race. I'm going to go and see my daughter. Looking forward to it.
Right, well, I'm not going to a band. That's way cool. That's way too cool. And also it's a lot of standing up for me.
Oh yeah, hold the seats. Goodness me.
The fear in your eyes.
An hour on these knees.
Oi! Thanks for tuning in. We love you for listening. We love you for listening. Thanks. Please share the pod. Click those 5 stars. Share the pod. Share the love. Tell everybody. Who can you tell this week?
Tales from the Trails came because people sharing the pod.
Just mutter it.
When someone's at their lowest point, going up Fusedale.
Really low. Fusedale, doing a shop at like 5 o'clock on a Friday night. That's a low point in Tesco's, isn't it? Or what I've got to do later, take the kids to the local leisure centre and watch them running around the tubes, whatever they're called, flumes, for an hour and a half. Done the trampoline park.
Go and brick your phone for that. My God.
Oh my God. Can you imagine if you arrived there and then you're like, I can't, it's all blocked, and you've got to sit and actually watch your children.
I'd use one of my emergency get out of jails if I did.
Oh, I've never used that. Yeah, just whisper. Someone whispered their podcast. It's good listening. They don't really even talk about running, so you don't even really need to like running. Thanks to X Miles for Simple Hydration, Phoenix Light UK, Harrier Trail Running and Protein Rebel for sponsoring our show. Here are the discount codes. Get your pen and paper out. T1020 or your voice notes. T10 2025 for shocks, T15 for protein rebel, T-time 2025 for precision hydration, and T10 for Harrier trail running. Thank you so much to also our partners and you guys, the patrons as well. We wouldn't do this and we couldn't do this without you and your ongoing support.
What would be the point?
And love. And love. If nobody listened, just be you and me. You wouldn't be friends with me. You can't even message me back most of the time.
Oh, that is not. That is not
you,
fair.
Eddie,
I
that
realised.
is not bit. I just.
I realise why you ghost me, because you bricked me out for huge chunks of the day. Good luck to everybody out on the trails, racing, training, recce's, solo miles or miles with mates, and let the trail and the tarmac rise to meet you and the wind always be on your back. Be kind to your future self, breathe and believe. Don't think, just swallow and roll with the joy, and the miles will look after themselves. My name is Gary Thwaites.
And I'm Eddie Sutton.
And that was the Tea and Trails podcast. And if you're racing this weekend, chase the ball.
Chase it. Do you know how many balls I found in my garden, Gary? When we were clearing up after the storm, clearing up our flower beds.
Are we in double figures?
We were in double figures.
Did you just keep buying balls?
No, I've never bought. I don't know where they've come from. Where have all these tennis balls come from? 18 tennis balls I've found so
I don't
far.
believe
Three rugby balls. What? I've never bought a rugby ball ever. Where have they come from?
Have you got neighbours? You haven't got neighbours that would just like, they'd lose their balls
live in a
garden?
field.
I'm sure all of our footballs are in next door's garden. Oh,
yeah. Where do they all go though, don't they? Because we all buy like footballs for the kids. Well, they all come in my garden. They all come in my garden, the flower beds.